Hi, Lee Phillips here. I'm an attorney, and people call and ask me questions all the time. I got one today that I should probably run as a scenario. I've actually been asked to run more scenarios. The guy's getting sued in his company. It's a little company, and he sends people out in cars, and one of the cars hit somebody, and so we got a lawsuit coming. The question is, what can he do to protect himself? Well, first of all, his company is run as an LLC. The LLC will have the corporate shield, which should protect him from what happens in the company. So the discussion was, well, I've got insurance in my company. I got a $2 million limit, but they may sue me for a lot more than that. Well, they're going to name the company, and they're going to name him. They're always going to do that. But 90% of the time, they're going to settle for the insurance because it's really hard. It's easy for the attorney to settle for the insurance. He only has to fight one battle. If we want to actually sue the company in addition to what the insurance is, that's going to be an additional battle. And if we want to pierce the corporate veil and jump over to the owner of the company, that's another big battle. They have to show that this wasn't a real company. You didn't treat it like a real company. Well, did you file your proper paperwork? Did you commingle your money? Did you do all of these things? If you did commingle your money, you're in trouble, by the way. don't want to do that. But did you treat it like a real company? In this case, the guy actually leases a building on his residential property to the company, and that's basically where it works out of. Is there a real lease? Did you treat this like a real company? And if the answer is yes, they probably can't pierce the corporate veil and come after you personally. Okay. What other assets do we have to protect? Well, we have the personal residence. This isn't Florida or Texas. They have 100% homestead acts. So the personal residence is at risk. What you're going to do is you're going to carry a large insurance policy. And insurance is getting expensive these days. I understand that. I'm paying a ton for it. But you carry an umbrella policy on your homeowners. That may well protect you or the house in the event that you get sued personally. They jump the corporate veil and can sue the guy personally. The guy also has, in this case, he had a self-storage unit, which he rents to other people. That's good business. It's in a separate LLC. He also has an apartment building, separate LLC still. So we've got the business LLC, the storage LLC, and the apartment building LLC. My question was, okay, if they jump the corporate veil, the corporate shield, pierce the corporate veil in this company, can they get these other LLCs? And the answer should be no, because the LLC has charging order protection. We've done a video on that. It protects the company's assets, in this case, the storage units or the apartment building, from what happens to the individual owner or owners. I said, which state he in? He was in a state that technically requires one owner to get the charging order protection. Now, I happen to know this is the Ninth Circuit, actually. The wacko's on the West Coast. And the Ninth Circuit has said in bankruptcy, we require two. And two owners in order to make sure that we get the charging order protection. The whole concept of charging orders is not to protect the one individual that's in trouble, it's to protect the other partners, the other owners of the LLC. So I said, well, maybe you ought to have other owners. Put your husband, wife in. You're not in a community property state. Put your 4 kids or 2 kids or whatever it is on for 5% each. And he said, well, do I have to pay them part of the profit? Yeah, they get 5% of the take. They've got to get their share. They've got to be issued a K-1. They've got to go to the meetings. They've got to do, are these real partners, real owners of this LLC, or are they just what a lawyer calls a peppercorn owner? Nothing. No, these are real owners. Technically, he doesn't need that, but I said it would look a lot better if you had these owners. Now, the LLCs have been in existence for a long time. If I set the LLC up today, then they may argue that I have done some sort of a fraudulent conveyance when I moved assets from me into this LLC. He said, well, will a trust do anything? And the answer is no. A living revocable trust won't do anything for you. He said, no, I want an irrevocable trust. How about offshore? I said, no, offshore, you don't go offshore, guys. You're wasting your money. He said, well, irrevocable trusts. There are actually a number of states now that have irrevocable trusts. They call them legacy trusts, Alaska trusts, asset protection trusts. And I can set up an irrevocable trust in a state, let's say Utah, and I can transfer my piece of property from Wyoming into this Utah trust. Wyoming happens to have one of these trusts also. The catch there is usually the average is 5 years. It doesn't lock down for my creditors in this revocable or irrevocable trust for 5 years after I make the transfer. That's to protect your creditors, because we want to protect creditors in our society. It's not fair that you can transfer assets to an irrevocable trust one day and I can't get to them next day when you actually owe me money. So it's not going to help, because I've got a 5-year rule usually. Utah, I can publish, I can do a bunch of stuff and lock it down a lot faster. But basically, the irrevocable trust won't help him. I think the only advice I told him was, look, let's put other owners in these 2 LLCs, the apartment LLC and the storage unit LLC, to beef up that charging order protection, so that even if they pierce the corporate veil, come after him personally, then these other 2 LLCs, the assets in those should be protected. They can't get them. So I told him to do that. And other than that, I kind of told him I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over it, because if it's a 10 for the lawyer to come after the insurance, well, it's going to be a 30 for the lawyer to come after the assets in the business in addition to the insurance. If they try and pierce the corporate veil, that's going to be a 70 for the lawyer instead of a 20 to come after just the insurance. So we're making a lot more work for the attorney the further down this road he goes. And lawyers are basically lazy. They'll go for the insurance. That's the easy one. I know I can collect it. So I told him, yeah, you're probably going to be okay with the insurance. Beef up the 2 LLCs, get some insurance. Now, he hasn't actually been sued yet. Get a good umbrella policy on your homeowners, and just sit tight and see what happens. You could do other things, but they're not going to be that effective, really, when you get down to it. And the fact of the matter is, the company insurance is going to cover it in 95% of the cases. So that's a case where I took a guy who is going to be sued and gave him a little bit of counsel as to how he might beef up the protection of his assets in the event that this lawsuit actually does come, and it actually goes for more than the insurance, and they can actually pierce the corporate veil. So we've got a bunch of ands in there, but let's protect these other major assets the best we can. Now, don't forget to give me comments. I do answer them. And let me know what you want me to talk about. So other than that, we'll see you next time.